Battlefield Earth is considered to be one of the worst movies ever made by people who I guess haven't seen very many movies. Don't get me wrong, it is a bad film, but worst ever made? Not even in the top 50. But there were several reasons people hated this movie. Bad acting, awful designs of the aliens, bad special effects, which I assume is because of the minimal budget, but those are things I generally don't cover in my fix videos. I mostly look at the script and talk about what worked and what didn't. And Battlefield Earth, the movie, is different from just about everything I've ever done a fix video on before because it has source material. Battlefield Earth, the book. Yes, all the superhero movies I've done videos on have source material, but nobody expects all 80 years of Superman comics to be faithfully adapted in a movie. They expect the highlights to all be distilled into a version of what they love, but not so much a faithful adaptation. But in a movie adapting a book, there's generally an expectation that the movie follow the plot of the book. So if some joker like me comes in and says the movie could have been done better by being different, I guess it's possible someone might come in and say, but what about the book? So here's my rule for doing a fix video on something based on a book. I don't care about the book. Chances are I haven't even read the book. I'm just here to fix the movie, and if that means making it different than something the book did, so be it. So with that being said, let me get into the movie. It's set 1,000 years in the future, and the humans are living out in the wilderness because aliens are mining the planet for gold and treat humans like animal slaves. This one human, Johnny, gets kidnapped, and John Travolta, the alien bad guy, comes up with the idea to train the humans to mine the gold for them. This comes back to bite him because he is giving Johnny the tools he will need to fight back against the aliens, like learning how to fly ships and how to speak the alien language. Johnny leads an uprising that seemingly frees Earth from the control of the aliens. The end. Okay, so when you say it like that, it almost doesn't sound like a horrible movie. The problem here is that this movie can't decide what it wants to do. It could be like Spartacus, but with aliens. Johnny rises in the ranks from slave to insurgent messiah, bringing down the corrupt system that he's trapped in, which the movie kinda does. Or maybe it wants to be like Planet of the Apes, but with aliens. There's this society that treats the humans like dirt, the upper class citizen aliens don't think the humans have any intelligence at all, and then one of the aliens finds out that they were wrong, the humans are capable of intelligence, and decides to use this to his advantage to break society himself for his own reasons. That's kind of the plot of the original Planet of the Apes, and the movie hints at that a little bit, but doesn't go there either. But I think you could have done one or even both of those plots if you just committed to it. So instead of me doing a blow-by-blow plot synopsis of what I would do differently that would take me 20 minutes to get through for a 20-year-old movie that nobody cares about if they remember it at all, I'm going to just hit on a few key points that I would have changed in this movie to improve on it. Number 1, get rid of the love interest. I don't even think Johnny spends more than 5 minutes with his fiancée, whose name I don't even remember, but the movie still acts like I'm supposed to care about their relationship. Get rid of her. Start the movie with Johnny getting kidnapped within the first 5 minutes, instead of almost 15 minutes in. Then spend that screen time showing Johnny getting used to life as a slave, and maybe if you have to have a romantic subplot, one of Johnny's fellow insurgents can be his love interest, instead of bringing in a lady we knew from before, 3/4 of the way into the movie. Number 2, swap Forrest Whitaker and John Travolta's roles around. The movie ends with Forrest Whitaker deciding to join the humans, I guess because John Travolta was mean to him throughout the movie. But the movie already sets up a pretty cool idea when we are first introduced to John Travolta. He absolutely hates it on this planet, and he wants to get off, but his superiors want to punish him for a past sin and tell him that he will never get off this world. Then he's the one who comes up with the idea of using the humans to mine the gold his species wants, and that eventually kicks off the rebellion. So what if John Travolta actually wants the humans to rebel, like Planet of the Apes, where Zira and Cornelius are on Taylor's side, trying to change the system? When Travolta sees Johnny shoot one of the aliens, he knows the humans are smarter than what they all gave them credit for, so maybe he wants to help them fight back. Either A, his superiors will order a mass retreat, or B, they will order a mass extermination, and either way, Travolta gets what he wants, which is off this world. Then Forrest Whitaker can be very loyal to his species, and instead of him trying to betray Travolta like 3 times in the movie and failing each time, he can be kinda smart. Somehow, he finds out what Travolta is up to, and he rats him out. Maybe he gets a promotion, and Travolta has to go on the run and join the humans who he hates. Now you've got a sort of buddy cop type premise where the partners can't stand each other, but they have to work together. Johnny needs Travolta because he knows the inner workings of the enemy camp and how they think. Travolta has to work with the humans because he is a traitor in the eyes of all of his people, maybe even across the entire universe. Now he has to help the humans fight against his people so he can maybe have a home where he won't be a traitor hunted down for the rest of his life. I would have this reluctant alliance happen probably around halfway into the movie, which is where everything really starts to fall apart. Travolta finds out his supervisor is lying about Earth not making the profits that the Home Office wants them to make. The lack of profit is the only reason Travolta suggested having the humans mine the gold for them. After he finds out about his supervisor lying about this, Travolta blackmails him so that he is basically in charge now. And then he continues training Johnny and the other humans by giving them knowledge and spaceships. Why? The only reason you were going to do that was because profits were down. But now you find out that was a lie, so why continue with this plan that has a 100% chance of backfiring on you? This is also around the point where Johnny and his friends get the drop on Travolta, and Johnny has the chance to kill Travolta, but because this is only about halfway into the movie, Johnny decides to give his weapon back to Travolta. So get rid of both of these very perplexing scenes, and put Travolta's alliance with Johnny around this point in the movie. This would also get rid of Johnny and his friends finding spaceships and Fort Knox. I actually didn't get why the aliens wanted gold anyway, so I would say they're mining for something else, maybe fuel or something that they can use in a practical situation. And the humans finding spaceships that are 1,000 years old, and they work just fine, and they are able to fly them because Travolta trained Johnny to fly in a simulator for the alien ships, that is really, really silly. These ships would not work after 1,000 years. You would not be able to learn to fly them easy peasy after flying a simulator for a different ship. I legitimately believe someone forgot that this movie is supposed to be set 1,000 years in the future. That's how perplexing this is. So instead, the final conflict will be kind of like this other Planet of the Apes movie, a ground battle, maybe with horses and Dark Ages weapons that the humans would have been using this entire time. Why would the aliens not just bomb them with their ships? Maybe Travolta knows of some deactivation code for the tech, or maybe the aliens don't want to damage the fuel that the humans were harvesting, or something like that. It's much more believable that the aliens are handicapped in what they have than the humans who have been living in huts for their entire lives to suddenly know how to pilot spaceships. And that's about it. It's no Star Wars, but I think this would have been better than the movie we got. Like I said, there's still a bunch of problems with this movie outside of the script, but this would at least be a foundation to build something off of, maybe. But what do you guys think? Is this an improvement, or was this movie destined to fail no matter what? Let me know in the comments, and in the meantime, I'll be doing some other kinds of videos in the future. Until then, have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.